In another turn of events, the Trump administration has now banned all illegal immigrants, including those that were legal and then became illegal, from mortgages through the federal system. But, I really want to title this video as the greatest American sham in U.S. history, the visa scam. It's going to leave many of you angry and pissed off when you leave this video. We're going to discuss exactly how this has worked out. So as many of you have argued, even in the video I made yesterday regarding people receiving Section 8, food stamps and other things, and now mortgages, it turns out that even I, as a Section 8 consultant with 25 years and one of the most well-known consultants in the country for what I do, even I didn't know this because I don't practice immigration in related to federal programs. But here are the facts, guys, and the numbers are absolutely astronomical. So, how is it that people illegally are buying homes using Section 8 vouchers and everything else? Well, here's how the scam works. Up till about May, the U.S. government allowed anybody, and I'm going to read verbatim the rules behind these visas, and this is how it's all working out. So, an asylum seeker can come to the U.S. legally or illegally, right? Cross in, and it says individual must be physically present in the U.S. at or a port of entry to apply for asylum by filing a form I-589. Once they've got that in, then they're given 180 days, up to 180 days to court. Until then, they've got a temporary status in this country. That opens the whole door. 3.5 million people. Anybody, if you decide, and I want to make very clear under asylum seeking here, if you decide for any reason, and I want to look at the reasons here, that you're living in another country and your race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group or political opinion offends you, and you arrive in the U.S. illegally under asylum seeking status, up till May, you were permitted basically to be granted a temporary status. And temporary status through that temporary visa would allow you to buy homes, get on Section 8 housing, get food stamps, welfare, all kinds of shit. Also, now that's 3.5 million. Let's go down here to another one. DACA, Dreamers Program. Individuals brought to the U.S. as children who were granted temporary protection and deportation under the authorization for deferred action. 500,000. So, under that status, these children grow up and they're supposed to be temporarily here, but they're not leaving. So now we went from 3.5 to 4 million. Going back here, and then we go into L1, U.S. non-immigrant visa for foreign workers. Why, I'm trying not to use profanities here, would anybody temporarily going out to an orange field, picking oranges, need to purchase a home? Another, and this sham works in, if you're, this other H-1B is a real good one because it allows them to get employment in their own country, working partially for the U.S. or through a company in their own country that has connections and ties of their company being here. So it's basically a porthole to the U.S. Once you arrive, they're legal, but the point is not about the legality of these visas. What we're discussing is what happens when they don't leave. None of these people are leaving. Okay? If you decide you want to pack your clothes and cross the border and just claim that your religion has been violated, show up in the U.S., get a visa, and just grab everything. That's 4 million people, and that's not including the other two types, H-1B, L1, and you know what? L1's got more categories than there are hairs on your head. I've actually instructed my office just to look into the entire immigration system completely under the federal system because I'm not going to be complicit in this activity. This was so badly written that virtually anybody with an IQ greater than 0 could claim just about anything, enter the country, and take full advantage of the system. Why am I pissed off? Well, kudos to you. You figured out how to cheat the system, become legal temporarily for a moment's notice, get in the system, and then ride the welfare choo-choo train all the way down the river. The problem with that is we have homeless people that are Americans in this country. We have veterans that have fought wars. We've got seniors that are dying in cars, burning up, right? Everybody that is from somewhere else needs to figure out how to handle their own business. The U.S. is not a charity system. We're not Catholic Charities. We're not a soup kitchen. Let me be very clear, guys. This is serious. This is fraud on a mass level. And I'm going to reiterate what I iterated in another video. Becoming an American is a privilege. It cannot be stolen. It can only be granted. Okay? It cannot be stolen. You're not guaranteed membership in this society. It ain't for everybody. And if you don't have the money to participate equally in this economy in the U.S., then you don't belong here. You know, every country in the world has problems, even the U.S. And so we have a crushed housing market between people that are already investors buying up all the homes. And then when we don't have that, we've got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people buying up homes that don't even have a right to be here. They had a right to be here for about 5 minutes. You see my point? So this is why many of you can't get a voucher. This is why when you get a food stamp card, it's only worth $10. This is why a lot of issues happen. And for those of you that cannot get a roof over your head, well, let's point to the visa system. It's basically toilet paper being issued out to anybody that can jump over a fence, cross a river, or fly in the country, or cruise through Canada. This is insanity. The numbers are rather staggering, in my opinion. So, the moral of the story, guys, is this. These visas allowing this stuff have ended. You could no longer come to this country and utilize any part of the federal system or its entitlements to food stamps, housing, or otherwise anymore. There's no point in coming here to the U.S. unless you meet the criteria and standards issued by the U.S., and that includes riding in these visas. It's not going to be allowed anymore. You will get nothing but the sidewalk. And frankly, I think there needs to be an additional man put into homeless shelters. It needs to be made so strenuous that nobody is allowed to be granted anything. And any homeless shelter complicit in the activity of housing people that did not want to fill out proper American membership to become a U.S. citizen, that it leads to immediate exportation out of this country. The same choo-choo you rode in, you can pay to get out. Okay? We're the only country on the planet that's paying you to leave at this point. We're offering, I think, $1,000. Just go. We have our own citizens to deal with. The last thing we need to deal with is this scam, the visa scam. It's big. I can't believe this shit. I mean, I did a double take today when I realized that for all this time, these visas were granting basically a gold card on a U.S. taxpayer fucking dime. I'm here to service the American people. Those of you that are veterans and seniors that are U.S. citizens or went through what is required by U.S. law to become a citizen. If you don't meet those two categories, you've got to pack your shit and go.